boys and girls, and welcome to the Startup World Cup Austria. I'm Daniel, your friendly host for the next, I actually don't know how long, I am guessing a couple hours. Anyhow, it's going to be a lot of fun. Couple words about me. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I'm the co-founder of Austrian Startups, and I'm actually more than excited to be doing this today. So what's the Startup World Cup? It's actually the largest pitch competition in the world, as they say, hosted in more than 50 countries and now in Austria, brought to you by none other than the AAIA, which is the Austrian Angel Investors Association, supported by Austrian Startups. The whole thing is run by Pegasus Tech Ventures. It's going to be huge, it's going to be amazing. Up to now, we've held 3 pre-events with a total of 4 different types of categories. We'll have 12 people pitching their little hearts out today, and one of them will actually succeed all the way to Silicon Valley to pitch in November to receive an investment of up to, yes, $1 million. Long story short, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to stop rambling. We'll talk a lot later on, and I'll bring 2 people on this little stage who are a lot more qualified to actually tell you what's going to happen today. Boys and girls, just at home applaud just for the warm, fizzy feeling on the inside, all the way from the side of the stage, brought to you to the internet, of Austrian Startups, the Managing Director, Hannah Wunsam, and the Managing Director of the Austrian Angel Investors Association. Hello and welcome to Laura Egg. Well, that's the part where you applaud. That's the part where they go on stage. Just assume amazing applause, as in right about now. And there they are. So good to see the 2 of you. Stage is yours.
Hi, Danny.
Hi. And thank you for the nice and warm welcome. Yeah, hi everybody, and also welcome from my side. I'm Laura, and I'm the Managing Director of the Austrian Angel Investors Association. And for the first time this year, we are able, and really proud of this, to host the Startup World Cup. And today, we already reached the finale. The AIA is basically a network for angel investors, and we focus on connections, startups, and also investors' education. But in the last few years, our role has really developed way further. Right now, we're connecting the whole early-stage investing scene in Austria and also beyond. And I'm really proud to stand here today and also tell you that the Austrian startup ecosystem has really developed in the past few months. And a few months ago, we have celebrated our first unicorn, Bitpanda. And we have many more scale-ups which are on the way and the next ones to come. But today, we're going to present you the 12 top Austrian newcomer startups. So the ones who will develop to unicorns or zebras, we will see. And as we have all gone digital 1 year ago, it has never been easier to connect in a virtual way. When it comes to a startup competition, we of course need you, the audience, investors. We need, of course, a jury, which is sitting to my left, but most important, we need startups. That's why we have partnered up with Austrian Startups. And really, thank you for this amazing support so far.
Thank you, Laura. We are super excited to are hosting the Startup World Cup together with you today. Austrian Startups is Austria's biggest startup platform and think tank. And we are super excited to be here today because this really brings in front of the stage startups that are working on impactful solutions for this next time that is coming up. Last week, we only published the Startup Monitor 2020, where we saw that every 4th startup was working on a solution during the pandemic. With this event, we really want to highlight the next startups that are going to help us to get through and actually succeed in the time to come. We had 3 pre-events that were mentioned before. We had over 100 applicants of founders all over Austria that want to create an impact. And now I'm excited to get on stage the 12 startups that we found the most exciting to present to you. And with that, I wish all the best to all the founders that are going to pitch today. For me, you're all already winners. You all deserve to go to Silicon Valley to expand and spread your solutions there. And let's get this started.
Thank you so much to the 2 of you. It's been a real pleasure. Now, you've met the Austrian Angel Investors Association. You've met Austrian Startups. However, I did mention also someone else, and that's Pegasus Tech Ventures. Let's meet one of the faces behind them. Let's meet Michael Lapidus. Michael, the stage is yours. Again, feel the applause from back home, and the stage is yours.
Hello, thank you very much for announcing me. Greetings, everyone. Thanks for being with us. Thank you for attending this marvelous events. We are about to start. Yeah. Okay. So, Startup World Cup is a global conference and competition. We are holding this event in more than 70 countries around the world. So, today we are going to pick an Austrian regional finalist, and this champion is going to compete with other champions from around the world on our grand finale event in Silicon Valley. My name is Mikhail Lapidus, and I am an executive member of a Startup World Cup and Pegasus Tech Ventures. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share everything that lays behind the Startup World Cup platform, but before that, I would like to say a huge thanks to Austrian Angel Investors Association for hosting us here, for your support, and I would like to ask an auditor for a good round of applause to them. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. So, Pegasus Tech Ventures is a global venture capital firm founded in Silicon Valley, and we are organizer of a Startup World Cup around the world. So far, we have invested in more than 180 countries in 180 companies around 3 continents, and this number is currently growing. On the screen, you can see some of our latest investors. So these are Bird, 23andMe, SoFi, Thriller, Airbnb, and SpaceX. Our entire portfolio is split between North America, Southeast Asia, and Europe, but we are really looking forward to invest more in Western Europe. Also, I would like to share with you a Startup World Cup mission statement. These statements are vital to us, and we are trying to stick to them from event to event during the whole Startup World Cup cycle. Startup World Cup started about 4 years ago in 2016. There were only 16 cities participating, and then the next year there were already like 28 cities. Last year we have ended up with 35 countries participating, and as I mentioned before, we are expecting that in 2021 cycle there will be more than 70 countries participating in the event. Now I'd like to draw your attention to the data. We are expecting that this year there will be more than 50,000 attendees, actually people who will be attending our event, whether it is in person or online, doesn't matter. We are also expecting there will be a great support from speakers and judges, will be more than 1,000 of them. Also, we expect that Startup World Cup and Pegasus Tech Ventures will be mentioned in more than 200 media around the globe. As I mentioned before, Startup World Cup is not only a competition, but it is also a global conference. And during the years, we have tried to work with most prominent and most experienced people in the industry. We have been working with Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, with Mark Randolph, Adam Chair, and many others. I would like to mention here that most of these people are actually sitting on our advisory board. And these people are actually our fathers of the Silicon Valley and founders of startup ecosystem in the world. Any competition is impossible without judges, so during past years we have been gathering the community of very professional judges, and during the years we have been working with many professors, many experienced entrepreneurs in the industry. You can see them on the slide. So I would like to get back in the years and talk about our past champions. In 2017, there was a Japan-based company called Unifar. After they have become our grand finale champion, they have added 40 partners more and have grew their revenue to $30 million. And Unifar is currently going on IPO on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. In 2018, there was a MIT-based company called Leuka Labs. They have developed an innovative solution for monitoring cancer patients. After completing the Startup World Cup and after becoming our grand finale champion, they have successfully raised another funding round and are currently on their way to the next level. In 2019, there was a Vietnamese company called Abivin. They are currently also raising another funding round, and when they have become our grand finale champion, they have received also $1 million of investments and other investments from other investors. Right, so talking about 2021, we want to make this event even bigger. We are expecting that there will be more than 10,000 startups participating in our events. The rules are the same. There will be $1 million as a prize of investments, but I would like to highlight here that it is more just than money, because you will have an opportunity to pitch in Silicon Valley in front of 2,500 most prominent luminaries of the industry, and most importantly, you will draw attention to the startup and to the problem you're trying to solve. And this is more than just money, and this is all about the Startup World Cup. This is all about our competition. But also, I would like to remind, when you are becoming a Startup World Cup regional finalist, you are going to compete with other regional champions from around the world at our grand finale event, which will take place approximately in November 2021. So, Startup World Cup 2021 cycle has started in Xi'an, China in July in association with Amazon. We have been around the world. We have been to Ethiopia, Japan, Chile. We have been in London, Northern Ireland, and many more. We have also visited Israel. We have been to Colombia. And now we are here in Vienna, Austria, where we are about to choose the regional champion. I would like to also remind you what the grand finale event is present for itself. It will be a 3-day event where there will be a semifinals between the regional champions. Also, there will be a day of a networking, and in November 12th, there will be a grand finale as itself, the final competition. So, this year, as a previous year, we have invited a lot of potential speakers who are going to attend our events. All of our grand finale champions, regional champions, will have a chance to ask for advice and to talk to these people. You know how it is important for a startup to receive these valuable thoughts and advices, especially when you're a young startup. And we will give this opportunity to the Startup World Cup regional champions. Now I'd like to draw an attention to the local angels and investors. I know there might be some watching this stream. We would like to give you a unique opportunity to become a Startup World Cup member. To do so, we have organized a new fund, a Startup World Cup fund, and the main goal of this fund will be to invest in a grand finale champion. As I mentioned before, companies which are becoming grand finale champions are extremely successful. The Japan-based company Unify is currently going an IPO, and you can be a part of this success. To become a member, the minimum investment in fund is $250,000. If you will have any questions about how to participate, how to become a part of SWC, you can contact me directly. I will be here till the end of the day. All right, so let's now get back to Austria, to Vienna. I know there have been a lot of applicants, a lot of startups willing to participate, and I would like to thank the local crew and once again our partners for helping us to figure out which startups deserve to compete for the Grand Finale prize. And before we start, I would also like to say a huge thank to our local judges. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having the opportunity to help us with this event. You're awesome. And I would also like to have a good round of applause to you as well. Thank you very much for having us here. All right, so how the process will work today, each startup will have 4 minutes for a pitch, and then there will be 2 questions from the jury. Then judges will deliberate and pick up a winner, and after that, we will announce the winner. All right, now I would like to spend a few minutes to show you the Startup World Cup Grand Finale trailer. Just to pay attention to the screen. Thank you very much.
Who's paying for it? Why do your competitors win?
Welcome to the Startup World Cup.
entrepreneurs with more information that will help them.
We've been through the broadband revolution.
We've unveiled this new innovation. They are so innovative, and they bring that innovation.
Doing was finding young entrepreneurs.
All right. I guess this is all I have. Thank you very much for your attention. I would like to wish good luck to everyone. So let's do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for those kind words and setting the mood right. Yeah, no pressure, but this might be actually quite a big chance. However, before we get starting, we'll have one more little video to share, and that's from the Ministry of Digital and Economic Affairs, Margarete Schramberg.
Congratulations, you are among the 12 best startups in the Startup World Cup. So now it's about the next and final round. Startups are important for Austria, they are important for Europe to solve the big issues of this world. We have three big challenges. These are digitization, social challenges, and the new way of work. You are finding new solutions to old problems. This is typical for startups, and therefore startups are so important for the Austrian economy. This ecosystem of Austrian companies needs the startups, and they need successful startups as you are. So therefore, I wish you all the best for the next round and for your pitches.
And thank you very much, Minister, for those kind words to get it all started off. Now, we'd also like to thank, of course, our sponsors, because you know how it is. You always need people believing in big ideas, and therefore we'd kindly like to thank our sponsors, which is number one, WKO Gründerservice and die Außenwirtschaft, of course, A1 Telekom Austria, the Vienna Business Agency, the Federal Ministry of Digital and Economic Affairs, as we just saw, Brandl and Talos, Amazon Web Services, the Austrian Business Agency, and of course Novartis, Mazars, and the US Federal Embassy. So, you've heard that. I think now, without any further ado, you've seen them already on a picture. However, let's meet them in flesh and blood. Let's say hello to our jury. And we're modern, therefore I'm not going to read out all the stuff they do and get half of it wrong. I'll just say their name and the company they work for, and because they're big boys and big girls, they shall introduce themselves. By the way, if you're thinking, how come they're not wearing masks? We actually are all wearing masks. We've all been tested, all got poked in the nose. We're all good, so don't worry. It's obviously all taken care of. In that sense, let's roll a video, and then we'll meet the first jury member. Let's roll the video. And let's meet the first jury member of A1 Telekom, Patrick Pirchegger. Hello, Patrick.
Hi, thank you very much, Daniel. It's really great to be here. Also, as you said, it's great to be back here also in person. We saw that there were really great startups participating. So it was really difficult for us in the pre-selection to select the best one, the best fitting startups for the final pitch. And I can say that I'm really looking very much forward to the pitches of today.
Thank you very much, Patrick. And let's move on to Karina Klaffel of Female Founders. Hello, Karina.
Hi, thank you for having me. Thank you, AIA, and also Austrian Startups, and also Pegasus for having me here today as being part of the jury. I'm very much looking forward to all the startups that are pitching today. And I haven't met them yet, as Patrick did. He met already all the startups, so I'm very curious to see what they have to offer. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. Also good to see you again. Let's move on to our next jury member of the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber, Mr. Kambis Kwan-Salvajaga. Hello, Kambis.
Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. Great event, great competition. Looking forward to all the startups. They really deserve to be here. I'm looking for good pictures, and thanks to Austrian Angel Investors Association, Austrian Startups, and Pegasus for bringing the event together with us to Austria, and hopefully we're going to have this kind of competition in follow-up years as well.
Thank you very much. And now let's meet of Novartis, Alyosha Stroh. Hello, Alyosha.
Hi, how are you today? It's really my absolute pleasure to be here. There are so many exciting things that I think we're going to learn about. I'm really curious to hear about the startups, the problems they're trying to solve, but I'm actually also quite intrigued to get to meet some talent.
Thank you very much. And our final jury member of the Vienna Business Agency is Dudu Genzel. Hello, Dudu.
Hello, everyone. Also very happy to be here. Thanks for having me. There's not much left to say, actually. I'm also very excited to see the startups who made it to the finals. So looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our jury member. And again, just to explain the rules, we'll have 4 minutes. Well, 4 minutes and like a half sentence. So don't overdo it, dear startups. That's like short sentences. And then we'll have 2 questions of the jury. And dear jury, I love you all, but first come, first serve. So there you go, make the best of it, but no pressure. And I think without any further ado, let's get started. We'll start with our first category, and the category is called Digital and Biotech. Let's meet Marlena of Vogt. And welcome to the stage, Marlena. Hello. And there you are. Feel the applause from the audience back home. Find your mark, and whenever you're ready, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So, well, let's remember the time before the corona pandemic, when there were still great parties, concerts, and festivals. We all know that beeping sound that we only heard when we went to bed after excessive partying with loud music. It sounded something like this. And after a good night's sleep, the sound usually disappeared again. If the sound has disappeared again, you are one of the lucky ones. But there are many, many others who are affected by a disease called tinnitus. Many, many others. We are talking more precisely about 15% of the world's population. 15%. In Europe and the US, there are 150 million people who are suffering from tinnitus. And this number is increasing rapidly because science estimates a 5-year prevalence of 1.4%. This means a doubling of the number of tinnitus patients by 2050, which is the translated figure of 300 million people who suffer from tinnitus. But what is the situation in Europe right now? Right now, tinnitus is so unendurable for 5 million people that they seek medical help. But here we're not only talking about an annoying sound, we are talking about many, many side effects of tinnitus. Those side effects could be problems of concentration, sleep disorder, anxiety, panic attacks, and in the worst case, suicide. A recent study from 2019 says that there's practically no treatment form for tinnitus so far that actually helps. The only therapy so far is cognitive behavioral therapy. All therapies are not really recommended or even recommended against. However, everything is tried without success. Almost everything, because we offer you a new approach, the solution, Vogtin. Vogtin is a non-invasive stainless steel hoop, which is a blend of findings from brain research, psychology, ENT, physiotherapy, and osteopathy. It stimulates 3 effective areas around the ear and is worn like a clamp behind the ear during the day. Vogtin works without sound, without electricity, without magnetism, and without chemicals. And there's no magic involved, only pressure stimulation. Fortin is a CE-certified medical device. It is patented and has a legal protection of the name. We are proud of a strong internal and external team. The external team consists of an advisory board with scientists from tinnitus research. We can demonstrate infinite scalability as we are supported by the world's largest additive manufacturing producer. 2 clinical studies are currently conducted, and we already have the first results. Here we have them for you. The final results we will publish by the end of the year. The first results showed that 21% of the participants became completely tinnitus-free in a period of 3 months when wearing the Fortin on a regular basis. And 60% tinnitus was reduced by at least 50%. Well, and in the end, it is always about people. We want to help tinnitus sufferers to forget their tinnitus. We want to help them to experience silence again, just like my father, the inventor, did. Fortin, experience silence.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you also for the nice demonstration of what a tinnitus is. Lovely memories from back in the day when we could go to clubs. Thanks for that. Now, jury, who'd like to go first? Alyosha, you were first.
Thank you. Thank you for presenting, very clear. And thank you also for reminding of us what clubbing is like. I was very happy with that. The one question, or maybe two if I'm allowed.
Yep.
I think the first one is a little bit, is that now a medical device really that you're...
Yeah, it is a medical device, a first-class medical device.
With all the regulations?
Yes,
and so on.
we have a C certification.
Okay. And the second question that I had is that the study population is relatively small with 200, right? Is that something that you did?
We have evaluated the app data because we have an app that comes with the product. And now we have 200 people in the app and evaluated that data. And it's a long-term study. And those are the first results. And we will publish them by the end of May now in several medical journals.
Thank you. And the final question, Karina.
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. I think that was really awesome. I loved your enthusiasm. I think it was a really great presentation. I was wondering, you said there's so far no other tool out there.
Yep.
However, I was wondering, is there any competition? As you're saying that this is an increasing problem, I was wondering, there must be other startups or companies working on that.
Well, there are several products who are trying to cure tinnitus, but they are not working in that way. Therefore, we don't have any competition because we have a completely different way to cure tinnitus.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was our first pitch. Real pleasure. Thank you very much, Marlena.
Thank you.
And let's move on to the second pitch. Team is called Kilo Beza. Welcome, Alexander Mura. Hello, Alex. Good to see you.
Hello.
Again, feel the applause of the jury and everyone else back home. Loving the energy. Good to have you on stage. Stage is yours. There you go.
Thanks very much. So DNA, that's the code of life, and at the same time, artificial DNA is the foundation of life science research. The issue is that most life science labs today, they actually depend on outsourced DNA synthesis provider, meaning they have to order DNA online and wait a couple of days or even weeks until the DNA is shipped to them so they can conduct the research on vaccines, on tests, and genetic engineering in general. Well, that's why we have developed Kilo Beza, which is the world's first personal DNA synthesizer. It makes DNA synthesis for researchers, for every researcher, so easy that it's almost as easy as brewing a cup of coffee. We sometimes also call the device an espresso machine for DNA synthesis. Well, our solution gives researchers access to DNA in just 2 hours or even less. So any researcher can now make DNA on the lab bench. The value we provide is that we speed up the process of purchasing DNA at least tenfold but in many cases it's actually much more, up to 360 times. In terms of traction, we started selling our device in May last year. So far, we've made more than $500,000 accumulated revenues. Especially in February and March, we saw very great sales. And we sold more than 30 devices so far. Also quite interesting, to one of our largest, or to the largest competitor actually, to additive DNA. So why is it the right time for our device? Well, on the one hand, we see a lot of dynamics in the life science research. We see a lot of new tools coming up, for example, CRISPR-Cas9, which just allows researchers to make much more and faster progress. At the same time, we need other tools which support that development. Also, RNA vaccines are, well, quite famous by now, I'd say. On the other hand, we just faced a big crisis. So the pandemic actually slowed down a lot the supply of DNA. It's a tragedy that we have a pandemic and at the same time the life science research labs have very big issues to get the DNA material they need to work on DNA tests, to identify the virus, and to work on vaccines. And we can just provide a much more independent and fast solution because we don't rely on delivery services. You can have your DNA synthesizer in your lab and just synthesize anytime you want. Yeah, about the market, we have about 500,000 life science labs in the world today. And if we sell to just 10% of those devices, we have a market opportunity of about $2.5 billion. So, thanks very much. I'm already done.
Thank you very much. Very laid back, very efficient, the way we kind of know it from you. Camus, you first, and then Dudu. First come, first serve, no pressure.
So thank you very much for your presentation. It was great. Can you tell me more, or can you tell us more about your pricing model in detail?
So our largest competitor is actually these DNA services which ship DNA to you. That's why we chose a business model which relies on cartridges or a razor blade model. So we sell the machine actually for a very decent price, I'd say. We sell them for $18,000 or 15,000 euros, which is actually very cheap for a lab device like this. And at the same time, we actually make money out of the consumables. So we have proprietary cartridges with the reagents needed to synthesize DNA. And we expand actually that portfolio of consumables because there's a lot of different DNA products. So we know, most people probably know about standard DNA, which is the 4 DNA bases. But then there's much more like RNA. We have a lot of different modified DNA products, such as DNA probes, which are used actually for corona diagnostics. Yeah, and a lot more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So that was actually exactly the question I wanted to ask, but to add something new to it. So you mentioned that you already sold it to 30 labs. So are they based in Europe, or so how is your sales strategy looking like?
We actually do direct online sales. So customers can book on our homepage web live demo where they have a one-on-one demonstration of the device. And we ship and sell worldwide. So by now we sold devices all across the world actually, but Africa, not yet. But yeah, we have devices in Southeast Asia, in America, in Europe, South America. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure seeing you. Thank you very much. That was pitch number 2. Guess what's going to happen now, kids? Let's move on to pitch number 3. That's called Rotable. And welcome to Lisa Holzgruber. Hello, Lisa. She's going to need a second because it's kind of tricky always taking your mask off with a cable there. Yes, you can applaud if you feel like it. That's good. Because, you know, it's sometimes tricky. And I know what I'm talking about. Think about having a beard and a mask. That's hard work. However,
Sorry
there
for
you
that.
are.
It took some time.
You good?
But yeah.
Stage is yours. Whenever you feel like starting, go for it.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and unfortunately, I've got bad news for you. The COVID crisis has shown that medical staff resources are valuable and scarce. However, we are currently wasting those resources. One doctor spends on average 3 hours per day on admin tasks, leaving less time for patients. One of these time-wasting tasks is the clinical rotation scheduling. Let me show you why. Did you know that doctors in training have to rotate between up to 14 different medical departments, often across different hospitals, and all of this in only 3 to 6 years? The planning and management of these rotations is highly complex, as hospitals have to ensure a number of requirements, such as the
How big is the addressable market you're going to enter? And if you look to other geographies, what kind of tools they have in use, what kind of competition is out there?
So to answer your first question, so with the clinical rotation scheduling, we're talking about a short-term target market of 50 million euros only in the DACH region. But as soon as we tap upon the up and cross-selling potentials that I talked about, like recruiting, personal staffing, other healthcare professionals that rotate, there we're talking about a serviceable market of around 600 million euros, also again in the DACH region only.
Thank you very much. One more question to go, and I've just heard the stream is again all up and running and good. Kids, Camis.
Yeah, sorry.
So thank you very much. Actually, my sister is a doctor herself, and I think her hospital would need something like this. So how is the integration process of the software? Is it like a standalone software, or can it be integrated in a system that is already there?
So we're starting off as a standalone software. Since we're only substituting Excel sheets at the moment, that's fine for now. But we know how important APIs are, especially to big other software services like SAP, which is almost in every hospital they use SAP. So sooner rather than later, we will offer an API to this common HR software. So it will be integrable, but for now we start standalone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really well done. Always good to see you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.
Now, there's a great quote by someone called Ernest Hemingway, and he once said, "Courage is grace under pressure. If the slides fail and everything else goes ballistic around you and you're that calm, you are one hell of a courageous person." That was one for the books to look at, how you handle it if something doesn't quite work. That was really sweet. Now, we're going to move on to the next category, which is called security and big data. Let's meet our next team. It's called Node Ventures. And let's say hi to David Schnetzer. Hello, David. David. What rocks your boat, David?
It's okay.
You can call me whatever you like, Sunshine. Yeah. In that sense, brother, the stage is yours. Whenever you're happy, go for it.
Fast. Wrong slide. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. We all know the hype in the consumer market. But did you know that even corporations have started to invest into cryptocurrencies? Companies like JP Morgan, PayPal, and Tesla moved part of their assets into cryptocurrencies. This is a trend which is unstoppable. But there is still one big problem. Over $7 billion have been stolen from online storages. So people might think that offline storage is the solution, like paper wallet printouts, wallet cards, USB sticks, or hard drives. You are damn wrong. 210 billion worth of Bitcoin alone are estimated to be lost because they accidentally ended up into the trash or were lost otherwise. It is the biggest problem in this industry. Node Venture is a unique custody solution for crypto assets. We developed a patented technology that allows to store cryptocurrencies offline, but make them available 24/7, as if they were online. Offline and online sounds like a contradiction. It really sounds like a contradiction, but we found the way. And we have a patent on it. And the Financial Market Authority has approved us. And we passed the most scrutinized international security standard, the ISO 27001. It does not stop there. We are far beyond just theory. We already secured 2 paying customers in the financial service industry and have 1 proof of concept with a leading bank. In a sense, what it is. Node Venture is a unique custody solution for crypto assets. They can use our solution as API integration, or can use our solution, our all-in-one complete solution, to integrate this via API into their system. How do we charge for it? Very easy. We charge a custody fee depending on the volume and a paper wallet license. Paper wallet means an amount for each wallet or number of clients. Just to be clear, out of 5,900 banks, we only consider 1/3. With an average license fee of 50,000 euro per month, this has a revenue potential for our solution of 1.1 billion euros in the European Union alone. Additional to this segment, we can also serve family offices, crypto exchanges, investment funds, and other custody providers. How we were able to build such a unique technology made in Europe with a strong team. I'm proud to present over 150 years experience in software development, over 25 years expertise with blockchain technology, and about 60 years professional knowledge in managing a company. NodeVenture combines decades of experience with the spirit of innovation and an unstoppable drive for further development. So, become part of this revolution and support NodeVenture to become the European backbone technology for the safe future of a digital financial world.
Thank you very much, David. Thanks for sharing that. 21 seconds to go. Let's see what the jury has to ask. Jury, you know, it's first come, first serve. As soon as you raise your little hands, I shall ask you. Patrick, you understood it first.
Yeah, thanks for the great pitch, and I think your solution definitely makes sense. But I would like to emphasize a little bit, maybe you could give us more insights on the competition in that area.
Yeah, we have global competitor scoring, around about 45 competitors in the world. And we separate between the location, the registrations, the licenses, and the art of technology. And we are the only one in the world who is specialized to fulfill all needs for the European Union. Because imagine a bank here in Austria, they have her customers. And you say to them, yes, I store your assets safe, for especially with a company like Coinbase in the USA, and I transfer your assets to the USA, an Austrian customer. So I think that's not likely for the banks. That's why we are the unique solution for the European Union, because we have all who's needed to scale.
Thank you. One question to go. Oh, Joscha.
Thank you also from my side. It's very interesting. I think I'm just trying to understand exactly what is the service and what is the product, right? And I'm probably slow on this, so you have to forgive me. But I think at the end of the day, you are selling trust to some degree, right? That people trust you with the assets they place with you. So if you're not the Deutsche Bank or whoever, how are you sort of proposing to crack that, to make people actually trust you?
In best case, the Deutsche Bank use us, and the Deutsche Bank evaluates how good we are. And we have the ISO certification. We have every year pen tests from external experts. They are specialized in IT security and forensic, and they check us every time. And we have we have a lot of due diligences we went through, and also we are able to ask every question who is required from a bank to receive our result or to send them our results that we are safe. So we sell trust for the banks, but the banks needed just a trusted solution for us. So in best case, no one knows that we are the solution behind the bank. So we make financial market infrastructure.
Thank you very much, David. It's been a pleasure. I'll learn it eventually. I'll learn it. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you so much. By the way, fun fact, did you know that in 2021, the city of Miami announced that they will be paying their public servants in Bitcoin if they wish to do so? I read that on the internet, so it has to be true. Anyhow, let's move on to the next pitch. The team is called Garnet, and let's meet Alexei Katukov. I hope I got that one right. Alexei, stage is yours. Did I get the name right on a scale from 1 to 10?
Yes. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, good. Thanks for being there. Stage is yours. Whenever you're happy to go, go for it.
Good afternoon. My name is Alexei, and I'm a co-founder of Garnet, a material startup currently incubated in Science Park Graz. I'd like to present to you our cargo inspection solution, and by cargo I mean large containers delivered by sea, rail, or trucks. there have been numerous statements at the national and regional level on the increasing need to identify cargo that is inconsistent with its declaration, contain illegal goods, or poses threats to society. Now, a typical cargo inspection system has a key technology component, which is called a detection matrix. A detection matrix allows you to see what's inside of the container. One of the key parameters of the detection matrix is its speed. And the speed of the detection matrix is determined by the crystal inside of it. The only reason I'm telling you all of these technical things is because what is important to know about the market of the detection matrices, it's more or less a monopoly of a single crystal. We at Garnet have developed a crystal that is 40 times faster than the current commercially available crystal. This brings a direct benefit to our future customers, namely the increase of speed of processing cargo containers. Now, you would say, does this technology even have a market validation? And I will answer yes. You can meet this crystal almost in every airport of the world, because this crystal is installed in the small airport inspection systems produced by the dominant player on the market, Smith Detection. However, there is a huge journey going from this tiny crystal to the large size, top quality crystal required for the cargo inspection. And that is why we have top European research institution in collaboration with us. In fact, we have supplied the crystal to the Gran Sasso laboratory of the Institute of Nuclear Physics in Italy for a major physics experiment. Now, also, our crystals have been tested at CERN in Geneva. I would like to reiterate, our core innovation is the crystal. However, our final product is the detection matrix itself. In a time frame of a year, we would like to do the feasibility study, finish the prototype of the detection matrix, with the goal to have the market-ready solution by the end of 2024, with a strategic aim to become the new monopoly on the market of detection matrices for cargo inspection systems. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was also very efficient. A minute to go. Karina, you were prepared.
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. It was really interesting. I was wondering, who are your customers, and also how does the business model look like?
There are only 4 companies that more or less form the market for the inspection systems overall. Like I said, we are already supplying tiny crystals for small inspection systems to the dominant player on the market, Smith Detection. But our customers will be all of these 4 companies in the future.
Thank you. And one question to go. Dearest jury, I'll count down 5, 4, 3, 2, yours.
I was just wondering, because it's quite technical and it involves a lot of investment, and I'm wondering, do you have someone that you're working with who would be willing to pilot or try your solution?
Yes, exactly. Smith Detection is this company.
Okay.
Basically, they give us the requirements, and in this particular project, we would like to bring more added value to Smith. So going from the crystal itself to the plug-and-play device, which is called the detection matrix.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Alexei. Thanks for being here. Real pleasure. 5 down. 1 more to go before we're going to start a little 5-minute pause, which means you don't go far away. Only if you need to pee, you go and pee or get a coffee. Anyhow, next pitch is ML Reef, and here's Camilo Pachman. Camilo, stage is yours. You good?
Yes, good.
Good,
Thank
man.
you very much.
And whenever you're happy to go, you go.
Okay. Hi, we at ML Reef, we follow one goal: to host and to enable the entire machine learning lifecycle in one platform. Why does this matter to us? The world is changing and new opportunities and challenges arise. For example, mobility is changing, probably faster than ever before, required to sustain increased demand, higher speed and higher quality standards. Farming is changing, requiring new ways of monitoring crop growth and soil composition needed to sustain an ever-growing world population. Shopping is changing from local to global distribution networks, new habits, and new digital experiences. And the entire world around us is changing. And we need new scalable methods to monitor change to effectively drive responsive actions on a really global scale. With new technologies such as AI, there are also new possibilities. It can make workflows way more efficient. It can give new insight to us to sometimes only nuanced data patterns impossible for us to detect. It drives automation, and it can enable true sustainable solutions. So let's adopt AI, right? Well, it's sadly not that simple. The field of applied AI is still in its infancy and bears many, many challenges. It's the lack of talented people, the required infrastructure, workflow inefficiencies, hard access to data and code, and I could continue for a while. But if you truly condense all these challenges down, you will end up in an economical one. It's simply too expensive, and that the knowledge-based entry barriers are still too high. So what's happening? Either organizations are excluded, are forced to project rationing, or AI projects simply fail. A recent study putting the failure rate as high as 87%. So what do we need to unlock the full potential of AI? Our approach is based on simplicity, completeness, and collaboration. Very simply said, Emereve is a community workbench to create AI. We provide the infrastructure for end-to-end AI development. Our users themselves provide their content and data and scripts. We make it just easy for them to share, to collaborate, and to reuse these contents instantly. And all this within a collaborative and very reproducible environment. On a more technical note, our objective is to use the best practices or learn from software development, known as DevOps, and also known from platforms like GitHub or GitLab, and build machine learning functions on top of that to really create a holistic machine learning experience. With this, we are creating a new paradigm shift in AI development, away from the current unstructured, notebook-centered, operator-reliant, and inefficient ways of doing machine learning to a modular, orchestrated, transparent, and collaborative way that is easy to use and at the same time offers a maximum degree of flexibility. So at the end, what will it give? It's super fast prototyping, it's in-depth collaboration, it's an easy way of sharing your work, it's granular reproducibility of every value-added step, it's complete ownership of what you are doing, and for now as well, free computing resources that we can provide. Our business model is B2B SaaS. It's based on a freemium model, so people pay for seats and features. You pay per computing infrastructure used, and we provide customer services. To understand the market as well, around 15% of the around 10 million data-driven organizations worldwide have adopted AI, either as a POC or fully implemented AI frameworks. Out of these, only 20% have fully implemented machine learning or have operationalized the machine learning development and are using MLOps platforms. This means that only 3% of all these organizations are using MLOps platforms, leaving the rest as still unserved opportunity, and there's still no market leader yet found in the MLOps field. And for us, this is incredibly important because we want to democratize AI. We want to bring AI to the fields and to the other people out there. Where we are today.
And I'm afraid I'd have to say, where are you today? Well, a lot of things to do, but currently you're out of time. You know, that's the rules.
Yes, good.
But maybe the first question might just be, so where are you today? Let's find out, Dudu.
Yeah, so let me give you the chance to talk about where you are today, your status quo, and what's the next step to do.
Thank you very much. We are developing the platform yet. We have been doing this since 2 years now, and we have soft launched Emereve last year and acquiring our first users and customers today. The objective is really to expand on this, to get the stability into the platform and move forward with our go-to-market strategy, which we are working currently today. The nice thing is that we are really getting good feedback out of the market, organizations coming to us asking, hey, we need a solution like yours. And we are very proud that we are all open science and open source. So we really want to push this idea of democratizing the power of AI at the end.
Karina.
Perfect. Thank you for the pitch. I've worked with data scientists and data engineers in the past, so I really know that this is a challenge and there is a need for a solution like that, but I also know that there's a lot of competitors out there. So what is your unique selling proposition there?
I mean, there are many features that you could compare us to the other platforms as well. But at the end, it's the approach that we are taking. So on the one side, really learning from the DevOps field. So we are using Git, for example. This enables also software engineers to be part of the machine learning lifecycle and to add value to this. And it's the hard focus on collaboration. And for us, collaboration not only means working together in the team, but also using the power of the community behind it to create value on top of that. So basically, this means that I can use, for example, a script that you have published before, try it out, and I don't need to start from scratch. So I really can push forward whatever I have done before.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Camillo.
Thank you.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we've got 6 pitches down, 6 to go, and we'll have a very short pause in a minute before I tell you what's actually going to happen after the 5-minute pause, because we'll have a keynote by Bill Reichert. And Bill is actually going to tell you what the top 10 VC secrets are you should know, but actually no one tells you, other than Bill. So you'll find that out, and then we'll have the 6 next pitches. In that sense, don't go far. We'll see you back in 5 minutes. Thank you, and see you soon. venture, and he's also an investor, an entrepreneur, an author, a mentor, and whatnot. His name is Bill Reichert, and the cool thing is Bill is going to share some of the secrets, and you also get to ask some questions. And we'll have time for 2 or 3 questions afterwards. And you know how it is, first come, first serve. So via B2 Match, you can ask questions, just type away and go for it. Bill, it's very good to see you, and the stage is yours. Hello, Bill.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to Austria. And the dawn is breaking here in Silicon Valley, and I am delighted and honored to be with you all today. I would much rather be with you physically in beautiful Vienna, but yeah, you know, this works pretty well, and at least I get to connect with all of you. So thank you very much for the introduction, and let me share with you a little bit more about the background of where this came from. I actually started my career as an entrepreneur long ago and far away. When I was a graduate student here at Stanford, I wound up starting a software company before it was fashionable for graduate students to start software companies. And that got me into this whole Silicon Valley entrepreneur thing. And I was very, very, very fortunate. I had some great advisors, some great investors, some great mentors. And I thought by the time I became a venture capitalist that I knew a lot about the way the whole venture capital innovation ecosystem thing worked. And then I discovered as a venture capitalist that venture capital does not exactly work the way that I thought it did as an entrepreneur. It doesn't exactly work the way it's portrayed in sort of the popular tech literature. And so what I wanted to do today was share with you the top 10 VC secrets that entrepreneurs need to know, but investors are not sharing. So the idea here is to get you inside the mind of the venture investor and peel back some of the mystery and some of the false impressions that entrepreneurs have about the way VCs work. So with that, let's jump into it. And let us get okay. So, secret number 1. Contrary to popular belief, investors don't invest with their brains. Now, this seems a little bit odd, and this was surprising to me when I made the transition from being an entrepreneur to being an investor. But what I discovered when I became a VC was that contrary to what I thought when I was an entrepreneur, I thought that VCs were these amazing analytic brains that had some algorithm running in the back of their head that could ingest all of this material that was coming at them from all of these entrepreneurs, calculate an internal rate of return, and make these investment decisions, right? That's why they were paid the big bucks. So when I became a VC, I went to my new VC buddies and I said, okay, now I'm one of you. Could you tell me what's the algorithm? And they looked at me and they said, well, Bill, it's kind of pattern recognition. After 5 or 10 years, you'll get the hang of it. I thought, whoa, this is very different than I thought it was. I thought it was this quantitative, analytic, evidence-based, data-driven process. But it turns out that, in fact, we investors, we're not really investing with our brains, we're investing with our hearts. And that, to most entrepreneurs is a surprise, because to a lot of entrepreneurs, they're not clear that investors have hearts. But the reality is that VCs are humans like anyone else, and we know that humans, they do things that they want to do, not necessarily things that they should do. And so the challenge for you and what this means for entrepreneurs is the way you separate yourself from the rest of the pack. It's not about having more slides with more data and more evidence and more logic to explain why it is that they should invest in your company. No. What you've got to do is you've got to get them to fall in love. You've got to get them to think, this is amazing. You got to get them to say, wow, that's incredible. You can do that? Tell me more. So wow is an emotional response, right? Wow is not an intellectual response. You got to get our hearts beating faster. You got to get our pulses racing. That's the secret to connecting with investors. Now, of course, what you say has got to make sense. It's got to be logical. It's got to be understandable. It's got to be something that we can take back to our partners to explain why we think this is an interesting investment opportunity. But in order to separate yourself from the rest of the pack, you got to get them to fall in love. And the way you get them to fall in love is you have to have a compelling value proposition. You've got to be able to deliver benefits that make you 10 times better, 10 times faster, 1/10 the cost, last 10 times longer, whatever it is. You've got to have a compelling value proposition. You've got to deliver compelling benefits. That's what makes investors get excited about a company. That's what makes us differentiate you from the rest of the pack. So, secret number one, get them to fall in love. Investors invest with their hearts, not just with their brains. Okay, secret number two, contrary to popular belief, VCs are not impressed by your vision and passion. We talk a lot in the innovation ecosystem about vision and passion and the importance of all that. And yeah, you got to have vision, you got to have passion. But fundamentally, we are impressed by your ability to execute and sell. And this is one of the sort of most misunderstood aspects of the whole investment process is, at the end of the day, what investors realize is if you can't execute and you can't sell, you're not going to be able to build a successful company. So, yes, we like the vision, we like the passion, but what we really want to see, evidence of your ability to execute and your ability to sell, that you're out there focused on your customers, connecting with them, understanding exactly who it is that you need to reach out, convert, and turn into customers. So, second secret is make sure you demonstrate your ability to execute and sell. It's not good enough to be a visionary. Third secret is you shouldn't underpromise and overdeliver. So, now that doesn't sound right, does it? Everybody is coached to make sure that they don't overpromise and underdeliver, right? So the tendency of entrepreneurs is to be extraordinarily optimistic, pathologically optimistic about, your ability to succeed, about the ability of this company to become great. But what we experience all the time with entrepreneurs, in our first meeting, the entrepreneur will tell us, and we're going to have this deal done in 2 weeks, or we're going to have that contract signed in, a week and a half, and we're have this great meeting with Google, and they're going to buy, right? But 3 weeks later, we talk to the entrepreneur again, and, how'd that contract signing go? Well, it got slipped a little bit, and blah, 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 blah. And so what advisors tell entrepreneurs is, hey, be careful. What you should do is underpromise and overdeliver. That sounds like good advice. But your reality is you have to overpromise and overdeliver. So again, you've got to be able to demonstrate that you are different from the rest of the crowd, that you can execute, you can sell, you make promises, you deliver on those promises, and you deliver even more. So, unfortunately, the reality is you have to overpromise and overdeliver. Secret number 4, VCs are not looking for big markets. Everybody in their pitch deck, and I apologize to those of you who are about to do this to us, but every entrepreneur is coached. Those VCs, they're greedy bastards. And so they want you to be a unicorn. And for you to be a unicorn, you've got to have this really, really big market. And so all these entrepreneurs, they go out to try to Google a number that will give them the biggest TAM that they can possibly get. So I'm assuming a lot of you have already been coached on what a TAM is. A TAM is your total addressable market. It's a concept that creeped into entrepreneurship, many years ago from some business school genius who said the way that entrepreneurs should segment their market is in terms of TAM, total addressable market, SAM, serviceable addressable market, and SOM, serviceable obtainable market. So this looks like you're sort of a studious, disciplined, sort of entrepreneur. But it's all baloney, I'll tell you. Almost every entrepreneur misuses this, and almost every entrepreneur, what they do is they walk into the room, walk on stage, and they put up a TAM slide that says, we're going to disrupt the $3.5 trillion healthcare industry. And at this point, every investor's eyes just glaze over and no, this is baloney. These guys are exaggerating, and they don't understand how to segment the market. The reality is we're not looking for big markets. Almost every market you could possibly address is big enough to build a great company. What we're looking for are companies that can grow fast and become big because they have a good market opportunity. What makes for a good market opportunity? Well, some of the best market opportunities out there in the history of venture capital have been $0 billion markets, right? So, how big was the market opportunity when Facebook started or when Netflix started or whatever, right? Most of the market opportunities for great companies are new market opportunities that the company creates. We're looking for good markets, not big markets. A good market is a market where you can establish a beachhead and scale rapidly. Being able to scale rapidly is a characteristic of a market that is not crowded, that is not highly competitive, where there is a compelling benefit you can deliver, where you can acquire customers quickly and at unit economics that are attractive. So stop talking about big markets. Talk about good markets. Talk about a market where you can establish a beachhead, you know who your customers are, and you can scale your company rapidly. Secret number 5. This sounds funny too. VCs don't invest in entrepreneurs who are smart. And I'll tell you the point here. The point here is that we come across a lot of entrepreneurs who've done exceedingly well in school. And all of their lives, they were told they are smart. Now, the problem with someone who thinks they're smart is that when a problem comes up, when there's a challenge, when there's a question, the smart person believes, I have to have the answer to that question. And that's not usually going to be true. Sometimes you just don't know the answer. So what we're really looking for are entrepreneurs who are savvy. What's the difference between smart and savvy? Well, savvy is the entrepreneur who says, I don't know the answer to this, but I know how to figure it out. I know how to, go find this person and go test this path and, check this approach. I'm going to figure it out. And entrepreneurship is really, it's not about being smart, it's about being savvy. It's about figuring it out and being aware of the fact that you do not have all the right answers up front, and you're going to have to figure it out along the way. You're going to have the discipline, the savvy, the processes for working through uncertainty and finding the best path. Secret number 6 is VCs do not invest in entrepreneurs who are nice. And, we're all raised to be polite and, defer to authority and, be, professional. But what we're really, really looking for are not entrepreneurs who are nice. We're looking for entrepreneurs who are persistent. We're looking for entrepreneurs who have an incredible sense of urgency. We're looking for entrepreneurs who are intolerant of mistakes, of slips, of people who don't deliver on their commitments. And so a lot of the times, entrepreneurs, when they're talking with VCs, entrepreneurs will sort of defer to the VC the process of funding. They'll sort of abdicate the process to the investor, and they'll say, well, we'll let them follow their process. What you really want to do is you want to be on top of the process, show that you are driving, that you are not there to beg for money from the VC. You're there to drive your company to success. And so you're giving the investor the opportunity to invest in your company, not arrogantly. You don't have to be arrogant about it, but you have to be highly confident, driving your company towards success, being persistent. And I will tell you, the story of almost every successful entrepreneur is the story of an entrepreneur who is unbelievably persistent, who is amazingly resilient, and is incredibly savvy. Those are the characteristics we're looking for in entrepreneurs, not smart and nice. So, secret number 7, high-performing teams do not always execute in harmony. And this was kind of an epiphany to me as an entrepreneur when I made the transition into venture capital. Because when I was an entrepreneur, I thought this whole entrepreneur thing was about finding people who shared your vision and locking arms and marching forward into the future to make a dent in the universe. And when we would start arguing around the conference table, I thought, oh my God, wait, something is wrong. There must be something dysfunctional about how can we be arguing if we all share this vision and are aligned. But it turns out that most high-performing teams have a lot of conflict. And it kind of makes sense, because if you attract very high-achieving people, if you attract very good talent and you bring them together, what you're going to discover is you'll have different points of view. Now, as a founder, you have a choice. You can let different points of view be expressed, in which case you're going to have an argument, or you can crush all these different points of view, or you can hire people who only say what you want to hear them say. Bad idea, right? So as a founder, as an entrepreneur, when you're building a team, you want to bring in these diverse points of view. You want to hear these diverse ideas. It turns out the most successful teams are fueled by constructive conflict. In other words, you get people battling for the best ideas around the conference table. You get people saying, I've got a better idea, and expressing that idea and learning how to be good at communicating and arguing in a way that is culturally healthy. Arguing in a way that is culturally healthy means you respect other people's opinions and you make your arguments based upon data and evidence and logic, not upon personality or power, position, or strength of title. So you want to build a culture where everybody who has a stake gets to express their point of view. You want to attract diverse points of view into your organization. You want to listen to everyone. And then the secret is creating a culture where you say, look, we're going to figure out the best idea, the best solution here. We're going to come to an agreement. And here's the deal. On the team, you can disagree, but then you commit. You commit to the decision we make. If you try to sabotage or if you, backstab anyone in this organization, you are off the bus. So it's okay to disagree, but then you got to commit. That means you're going to have this hopefully very healthy creative conflict in your organization with diverse ideas coming together, resulting in the best ideas being the path that you follow. Secret number 8 is something that was told to me very early on in my career that has stuck with me, that is incredibly important if you are trying to raise money, if you're trying to sell products. The reality is that customers don't buy products. customers buy benefits. Now, this sounds like sort of a nice, poster board on the wall, but it's really, really important in the way you talk about your company and the way you execute. So what we want to see as investors is that you are focused on the customer, that you're focused on your compelling value proposition, on the benefits you deliver. Most entrepreneurs, as soon as they start talking, they talk about how delightful and beautiful and elegant and wonderful and amazing their technology is. They talk about their product, their beautiful baby that is their product, their service, their application. They talk about their product. They don't talk about customers and customer benefits. So flip the way you talk about your company with a customer-centric focus, not a product-centric focus or a technology-centric focus. Because at the end of the day, customers don't buy products, they buy benefits. You've got to have a compelling benefit, and when you are pitching your company, whether it's to an investor or to a partner or to a customer, you've got to pitch the compelling benefits that you offer, not the elegance of your product. Secret number nine, speaking of pitching, believe it or not, VCs don't understand your pitch. It's amazing. Yeah, I wish there were a way to measure this, but so much of your pitch does not come across. And it doesn't come across for a variety of reasons. One, entrepreneurs overestimate the domain expertise of investors. And so many entrepreneurs, they'll pepper their pitch with these 3-letter acronyms that are specific to their industry. And so, if I know what your industry is, I know what an SLA is in one context, but an SLA means something else in a different context. So don't use 3-letter acronyms as obvious as they are to everyone inside your company. Make sure that you get a fresh brain hearing your pitch before you try it on investors, to make sure that you're not speaking the jargon of your industry, or you're not making assumptions that you shouldn't be making when you're pitching to investors. So one, entrepreneurs overestimate the domain expertise of investors, and then secondly, they overestimate the clarity of their pitches. And this is sort of the curse of expertise, or the curse of knowledge. It's a well understood psychological challenge, which is you live and breathe your company, your technology, your market every day. And so it's hard for you to know how people who do not live and breathe it every day are hearing what you're saying. So again, you need to check to make sure that what you are pitching is clear to most people who are not living and breathing your company, your technology every day. And then last, secret number 10, secret number 10 is we might be nodding and smiling, but VCs don't actually believe you. And so you can be saying all these things, and we may be excited and energetic about it, but we know that entrepreneurs are pathologically optimistic. And so best case, investors hope that you are at least directionally right. And so that's okay. We want you to be enthusiastic. We want you to be optimistic, but we also want you to be realistic. And what we want to make sure that you don't tip over from optimistic to delusional. So if you're delusional, if you think that you're going to transform the $3.5 trillion healthcare industry, we're going to walk away. So be careful about the degree of hyperbole you use when you are expressing your optimism about the success of your company. So those are the top 10 VC secrets. We invest with our hearts, not with our heads. It's got to make sense. We got to understand it. But ultimately, you got to get us to fall in love. You need to prove your ability to execute and sell. You have to overpromise and overdeliver. We want good markets, not big markets. You need to be savvy, not just smart. You need to be a driver, not a beggar. That you, in order to build a high-performing team, you've got to tap these diverse perspectives. We want to see that in the way you organize your company. Focus on creating compelling value, not just on coolness of product. Make sure your pitch is crystal clear and make sure you understand your investors' expectations for the path of your company. So those are the top 10 VC secrets. By the way, this is the advertising portion of the program. I and a partner have written a book called Getting to Wow, Silicon Valley Pitch Secrets for Entrepreneurs. It's available at an Amazon.com near you. And with that, I hope we have time for a few questions. And this is how you can reach me. I'm Bill at PegasusVentures.com or at Bill Reichert on Twitter or Instagram. And I am delighted to have had this opportunity. So, team, are there any questions? I can't see the chat room. If you want to moderate the questions, if we have any.
I'll take it from here, Bill. So here's one or two questions I've got for you. First question I'd like to ask you is, how do you handle cultural differences in people pitching? Because from experience, we know that, let's say, Americans pitch very different to people from South Korea or, let's say, CEE or wherever. How do you handle that, and how do you address it into your assessment of a pitch?
Yeah, you know, I hear this all over the world, right? It's interesting that, you know, every place in the world I go, they say, you know, we're different than you Americans. and so, you know, you can't judge us the same way you judge those Americans, because you know those Americans, they like to brag, you know, they like to talk a lot, and, you know, and the reality is, I got to tell you, all over the world, most entrepreneurs I meet, they're already 5 sigmas off of the standard in their culture. You know, the fact that you're an entrepreneur in Austria, in Europe, in East Asia, in South Asia, and in Africa, the fact that you're an entrepreneur already puts you on the far edge of any culture that you're coming from. But yes, you know, we do understand that you know, probably the majority of, well, I don't know if it's a majority, but a very large percentage of the entrepreneurs that we meet were not born in the United States. Silicon Valley is this, you know, an extraordinary, you know, melting pot of entrepreneurs from all over the planet who come from all of these different cultures. And what we have seen is that, you know, entrepreneurs have all over the planet have become part of this global innovation culture, which is more defining of entrepreneurs than necessarily their, you know, sort of country culture. But, you know, I'd be happy to drill into any particular specifics about culture that you think should differentiate the way investors think about Austrian entrepreneurs versus Indonesian entrepreneurs, for example.
Now that would be a fun discussion. But maybe let's go to. I'd love to have that one day. But here's a different question from someone from the audience. It's a bit of a critical question. Someone says, "Why take on an investor that does not invest with their head?" That's an audience question. It's not my question, so don't shoot the messenger.
No. I think that makes a ton of sense. It's you know, I mean, if you can find that investor, God bless you. But the reality is that entrepreneurship is so uncertain that, you know, especially if you're early stage, the reality is that there's so much uncertainty, there's so little data. Most of the data that entrepreneurs present to us is not particularly on point. You know, we're targeting a $56 billion industry. Who cares, right? Who cares? So entrepreneurs give us all sorts of data that actually isn't even relevant. And the data that's relevant, you know, what are your past 12 months performance? That's relevant data, but it's not necessarily definitive data. And so the reality in the world is your likelihood of success is going to be based on your ability to execute and sell. And a huge part of your ability to sell is going to be your ability to connect with people beyond the logical data evidence threshold. So part of the, investing with our hearts, part of venture capital is your ability to excite your audience. If you cannot excite your audience, then how are you going to acquire customers? So, because we know people don't buy things they should buy, they buy things they want to buy. And so you've got to be able to connect, not just with the head, but you've got to connect with the heart in all of your business dealings. So that's why it's a good thing that you learn how to connect with the heart.
And maybe one last short question. Here's another question that says, how would Bill approach a decision whether an entrepreneur is only smart and not savvy?
So, that's the team. So this is the classic. Steve Wozniak was not very savvy, but he was really, really smart. Steve Jobs, academically was not considered to be very smart, but he was really, really savvy. And so, the reality is that no company is built by an individual. Companies are all built by teams. And so we want to see that, yes, you can have an eye-wateringly smart person on your team, a Steve Wozniak, but you need a Steve Jobs. You need a savvy person on that team who is going to sort of poke beyond what the smart guy or smart gal thinks is the right answer. So you do it. So for all of you entrepreneurs who are there saying, well, wait a second, I'm really, really, really smart. That's great. That's fine. That's okay. I don't mean to diss you, but I want to see that you have a co-founder, someone else on your team who also brings the savvy to bear when you're building your team. Is that fair?
That's fair and square. Thank you very much, Bill Reicher. There's a couple more questions coming in, but we'll have to cut it here because we have the next pitches coming up. Right. Thanks for being with us. Real pleasure. And kids, make sure to check out his book. Cheers, and thank you very much for joining in. Now, we just heard all of the challenges and pitching and what you need to do and how to make it. And one of the things we also always hear is that entrepreneurs need to persevere. And sometimes when things go wrong, well, you just go for it again. And earlier today, our stream had a slight issue. You may have noticed. Therefore, we said, well, that's not good. Let's give the person that was pitching right then another chance, which is pretty good. In that sense, let's get the next pitch on the stage. She pitched earlier today, you may have seen. Let's go for it again. Here's a startup called Rotable of the category Digital and Biotech. Here's Lisa Holzgruber. Lisa, good to see you.
Hi again. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. So, whenever you're ready, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So, hi again. I'm Lisa. And unfortunately, I've got bad news for you. The COVID crisis has shown that medical staff resources are valuable and scarce. However, we are currently wasting those resources. One doctor spends on average 3 hours per day on admin tasks, leaving less time for patients. One of these time-wasting tasks is the clinical rotation scheduling. Let me show you why. Did you know that doctors in training have to rotate between up to 14 different medical departments, often across different hospitals? And all of this in only 3 to 6 years? The planning and management of these rotations is highly complex, as hospitals have to ensure a number of requirements, such as the clinical curriculum of each specialization, personal preferences, and many more. Once created, each rotation schedule, but also each change to an already issued schedule, has to be communicated to a high number of stakeholders within and across hospitals. What do you think? How do hospitals currently manage these rotations? Manually, in self-created workarounds. So it's hardly surprising that all requirements are hardly ever met, and that one hospital spends, on average, almost 200 hours per week on managing their clinical rotations. More than half of this time falls upon highly qualified doctors, which is expensive and means valuable medical staff resources are being wasted. Now, these were exactly the type of challenges that I had to face on a daily basis as head of a department responsible for the clinical rotation management across 9 hospitals. There is no suitable software solution available, and I knew that in order to build one, I needed to combine my in-depth know-how in clinical rotation management with expertise in software engineering and venture building. So with David and Yannick, I put together the optimal founding team. With Rotable, we are developing the first HR solution that enables hospitals to generate clinical rotation schedules automated and to complete related admin tasks with only a few clicks. At its core, we develop an algorithm that calculates ideal schedules across hospitals while accounting for all mentioned requirements. This way, we allow hospitals to efficiently respond to short-term rotation changes and increase quality through planning and preference reliability. Automated workflows and alerts ensure transparent information and communication. We charge hospitals a licensing fee per managed position. Even after purchase, hospitals not only save costs, but Rotable is freeing up much-needed medical staff resources to spend on patient-related tasks. So far, we've conducted a thorough market validation, developed a POC, grown our team, and we will complete our first beta version this summer. Even though we don't have a product yet, we could already win a large hospital as a paying pilot customer, and 7 hospitals from Austria and Germany already registered for an early access to our beta version. Now, why do we start with such a specialized solution? We leverage the clinical rotation scheduling as an entrance ticket into hospitals and a growing market with very high lifetime values, and plan to make use of several up- and cross-selling opportunities. For example, in the area of recruiting. Since doctors already track their training and qualifications in their Rotable account, we can easily get access to a huge talent pool. At the same time, our system allows us to track and predict vacancies. The perfect basis to redefine recruiting in healthcare. So apart from the fact that we can have a positive impact on doctors and the training of our future doctors, it also offers us an attractive upscaling case. We are not raising yet, but we are actively looking for contacts to investors. So please get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. It was a charm. Good to see you again, albeit on
Again,
different circumstances.
and have a good day.
Thank you very much. Now, to explain, you're going, why no Q&A? Because we did it early on, so that's why no Q&A in that case. And by the way, kids, if you're listening in, that's why you always have a plan B when pitching. 2 categories down, 2 to go. Our next category is social and climate impact. Let's see our first startup. It's called Cape, and welcome, Peter. Stage is yours. That's the part where you would be applauding if you were back home. By the way, you in the audience, if you feel like, I know you haven't done that in 14 months, but it kind of, if you put your hands together like so, it does make a noise. Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
You see, in pandemic times, you tend to forget sometimes rather normal things. Anyhow, stage is yours. Whenever you're good to go, go for it.
Hi, I'm Peter, and I'm the founder of Cape Skateboards. Ever since I started skateboarding, I never understood why they were made out of wood. I mean, wood breaks, wood chips, wood loses its feel. And this is why a professional skateboarder needs to change his board every 2 to 3 days. To me, it was crazy that there was nothing else on the market but just a wooden plywood. So I looked at other sports equipment like tennis rackets. They used to be made out of wood as well. But there was a time when they made a transition to high-tech materials. And with this transition, also the sport changed. And this is our vision. We want to change the way how skateboards are made. And this is our solution. It's called the Vanguard. It's a skateboard optimized in shape and production. Okay, what does it mean for a user, for the skateboarder? Well, if you're a beginner, you will learn tricks faster because it has a shape that is optimized for that. And if you're a pro, you can be much more deliberate about your tricks and do tricks that weren't possible with normal wooden boards. This is not just a new idea I had. I started making skateboards 8 years ago in my parents' garage. So I have hands-on knowledge about materials. And 2019, we started with a completely new way of making boards. Skateboarding is booming at the moment. If you go to skate park, it's packed. It's because it's a corona-friendly sport. And also, it's in the Olympics for the first time, so it's a good market to be in, and that's fun. Our competitors are brands that only do marketing and do not do any development outside of the traditional layering technology. The actual producers, the wood shops, they are just carpenters who happen to make skateboards. As Bill said, a great company is a great team. We have a great internal and external team, but also we get a lot of support from outside the industry that want to see this technology evolve. We have design prototypes, we have functional prototypes, and we have successfully proven that this idea and this technology works. Right now, we're in the middle of setting up the serial manufacturing. This technology is not just new in skateboarding. It's completely new in the production of lightweight composite materials. So what does it mean? Can we make more than just a skateboard with that? Yes. We can make pretty much anything that needs to be light and strong. So the automotive industry would be the next step. Yeah, but what about the environment? Well, with our technology, we've solved the three main problems that there are with composite materials, which is price, production time, and recyclability. We work together with a company that goes into the oceans, pulls out the fishing nets, and there are a lot. I don't know if you've seen the episode on Netflix, but there's a lot of fishing nets, and with that material we use to make our skateboards. And we want to show the world that it's really possible to make extraordinary, really well-made products that perform great and at the same time clean the oceans and keep our planet safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, look, we started something. That's quite good. Dear jury, that's the part where you take off your mask. That's you first, Karina, and then it's you, Dudu.
Perfect, super interesting, and I definitely agree. You can definitely see more skateboards, definitely in the city of Vienna, at least on the streets. I was wondering, what's the cost of a skateboard compared to a traditional one?
We try to do this Tesla with starting out something really high priced. So when we start the launch, we'll be 3 times more expensive. The normal boards cost 70 euros. We'll start with 200. But as soon we switch the manufacturing from 1 cavity molds to 3, 4, 5, maybe 10 cavity molds, we will reach the prices of an ordinary board in 2023.
Sweet, thanks. Dudu.
Okay, thanks for the pitch. A great story, actually. So from the garage to the world. Can you tell us more about the sourcing of the material? So the nets, where do you get them?
We work together with the industry leader of recycling polyamide, which is nylon 6. Polyamide, especially nylon 6. They're sourcing it from the oceans, which is around 20% of their material, and the rest comes from carpets like this. This is usually, especially in the US, it's made of nylon 6. Yeah, that's the sourcing.
May I add a short question to that? So do you need to go through a process of confirmation before you launch the final product? So how does that work?
Confirmation, what do you mean?
Like, does the product need any sort of certification before you can?
No.
Okay.
Really, it's the current standard is plywood. So we that's our competitors, plywood, which breaks. And ours doesn't.
Thank you. Yeah, that was quite. It's plywood and it breaks.
Yeah.
Thank you for that bombshell. It was a pleasure listening to you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you look at him, might be a founder, might be a skateboarder, probably both. And yeah, sometimes cliches are right. There you go. 2 to 3 skateboards. A new skateboard every 2 to 3 days. That's like 120 a year if you're a pro. Just nod your head. Holy shit, that's a lot of skateboards. Anyhow, that was pitch number 7. Let's move on to number 8. You told me 3 times how to pronounce your name, and I'm super scared that I'm actually going to mess it up. I'm sorry, brother. I'll do my best. I'm actually nervous if I get it right. First name's easy. It's Emmanuel. Good. And it's Perigi? Perigi. Yes, messed it up again. Yeah, horrible. You can applaud if you feel like it. Not for me, but for him.
Thank you, Daniel.
Good, good. Yeah, it was a good effort, kind of.
No, it was pretty nice. We actually heard even stuff like pedigree in the past, so I think that was kind of nice.
Making my dog hungry, don't do it. Oh, he doesn't eat that. He eats the nice stuff. No branding. Anyway, just, bitch, I'll stop. Whenever you're ready, just go for it.
Great. So hello there. Today, I want to talk about climate change, the people who fight its effects, and about a market that you probably won't expect to be a market. If we look at the not-for-profit sector, we can see that there's a revenue of about 90 billion euros in the past year in Europe alone, with one big downside. We have in the major markets declining or stagnating donor numbers. Let's dig a little bit deeper into this. About 50% of the not-for-profits in the German-speaking markets say that they only have 5% of digital income. Can you imagine this? 5% of digital income in a world where Facebook, Google, iPhones, and so on are part of a daily routine. Let's dig a little bit deeper. We can see that only about 2% of the Generation Z is spending money on donations. And we see that only 44% of all non-profits have a written social media strategy. So there's a deficit in this sector, which is clear, and the sector knows about it. About 50% of the NGOs have increased their marketing tech spends in the past years. So, in a nutshell, we have declining donor numbers, mostly due to older demographics. The younger demographics are not reached at all. We have a higher funding need. Think about global warming. Think about natural emergencies, COVID. And we have limited know-how within the sector. Our solution is called Perigi. But before I go into the details of our product, let me tell you something about my youth. When I was a kid in the 90s in Vienna, I was listening to Scandinavian black metal. You can imagine, my mother loved it. Black hair, dressing black, loud noisy music. Probably not too beautiful. But I had about like 40 or 50 friends in Vienna at the time who were listening to the same music. As a musician or as a club owner, you couldn't earn a living out of this. That was not a market. But when the internet came and everybody was suddenly connected, our micro-audience was suddenly a major audience worldwide. Hundreds of thousands of people connected by sharing the same emotional connections. And our Perigi solution, which is a SaaS dashboard for nonprofits, uses the exact same idea. We identify potential donors based on deep emotional links to a natural event. So imagine you have an earthquake in Croatia. We identify people who have deep personal connections, friends, family, who have shared content online, who have commented stuff online, and you can target them and contact them directly. So our platform, which is license-based and not donation-based, allows customer acquisition and market intelligence the easy way. We give you vital information about all emergencies happening faster than ever before. We identify prospective donors based on interest. And we show you trends, media coverage, and social media engagement. We even predict social media engagement. Us, that's me, a former marketing and management executive, and Marcus, a Harvard and Columbia experienced and trained veteran of the NGO environment. We have developed our solution with Doctors Without Borders, the Austrian Red Cross, UNICEF, you name it. These are going to be customers. And we already have customers from the governmental field. So I'm pretty confident that we can reach our target to earn a revenue of about more or less 2 million euros throughout the next 2 years. So thank you very much. Let me hear your questions.
Thank you very much. I'd have a lot of questions about black metal, but I'm not going down that. That's Alyosha, you, and then Patrick, you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the pitch. It's a great field, and I think it's a field that is also changing very much. And therefore, because I will tell you why I'm asking the question I'm asking. I'm wondering if the 2% are driven by lack of outreach, right? Or is it driven by maybe a fundamental shift in behavior and what people value and how they want to spend their money, right? So my question is a little bit, do you have a proof point that this marketing or this platform that you're offering actually increases the reach or the income they have via donations?
Yes, we do have. We do have pilot studies which are currently working, where we see a significant updrift. Also, yes, you're right. There's a behavioral shift because it's the way how we consume our news. You know, you were probably used to hearing about a storm in Mozambique on the news, on ORF, on ORFIT. But the youth doesn't consume news like this anymore. They're consuming within their bubble, I would say. So what we do, we try to enter this bubble. And then again, yes, we have seen significant updrift, and also international studies show that this audience is willing to increase their spends. We have significant spends based on COVID funding. So younger audiences have spent donations for COVID research, for COVID aid.
Yeah, thanks a lot also for the pitch. From my side, my question would be, you showed your platform covering a lot of different functionalities.
Yes.
What is your focus? Where do you currently stand? And do you already have paying customers? If not, when do you expect to have them?
So our focus, and I think the most interesting part is in order to increase digital donations, is the direct identification of emotionally linked donors. So what we do is we try to give you a full picture in a full stop. Where are my donors? How can I reach them? What are they reading? What is their life environment right now? So that we are an intelligence platform. We do have paying customers for partial solutions where we do consulting based on our technology, like one ministry in Austria. And we are currently planning a full market launch in fall. Right now, we're having pilot studies with 3 international organizations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
We
much.
have 2 questions. Pleasure seeing you.
Take care.
Thank you very much. Have a good one. And let's continue. Yes, you can applause if you like. We'll have to relearn normal things in life. Can anyone still like, because their little hands hurt because they're not used to applauding. They all woohoo my hands. Anyway, no offense, but I like being slightly offensive once in a while. That's kind of fun. Anyhow, let's move on to the next pitch. Christoph and Epiclay. Stage is yours, Christoph. And the next one should come from the heart and not me instructing you to do so, or you'll have to earn the next one.
Hopefully. Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel.
Whenever you're good, stage is yours.
Perfect. So having healthy lungs has never been as important as it is nowadays. Not only for us as humans living in these times, but also for our environment and our cities. Yep, they also need healthy green lungs. And that's exactly what we do at Epiclay. We are providing those green lungs for buildings and cities. We are at the intersection of 2 megatrends. One being air pollution, of course, as one of the most pressing challenges of our time, and the other one being urbanization, which basically means that a lot of pollution comes on a very limited and dense space. So we have to take actions, and it will not be only one action that we have to take, but arguably one of the most proven technologies is the photosynthesis of plants and trees. But to say it with Elon Musk's words, I like trees, but we don't have any space for them. And that's pretty true, actually. We have currently 500,000 trees in the city of Vienna, but at the same time, we have one infrastructure which is just standing around, not doing anything for our climate. And that's the facade space. We have 120 million square meters of greenable facades in Vienna alone. And that will have a tremendous impact on our environment and climate. And yes, there have been companies which tried to tackle this vertical space by planting trees or plants on them, but actually they have 2 big issues. They are either too heavy or complex in the installation to make retrofits possible, or they are very cost intensive due to extremely high maintenance needs. You could imagine that you basically put what you have on your balcony in your free time as greening scaled out on a whole facade. So here comes Epiclay into play. We combine the most robust plants found in nature with our innovative platform technology, the Epiclay modules. They are not only 100% recyclable and circular economy compliant, they also increase the energy efficiency of buildings, thus saving the property owner actually money. And we also tackle the biggest hurdle of current adoption, the low maintenance. We are positioned at the intersection of bioengineering and material sciences. Our plants grow directly on the surface of our modules without any soil, and due to the innovative irrigation system, you do not require constant watering and therefore also electricity. We want to achieve this with our international team of architects, biologists, designers, and business developers, as well as our long-standing, very experienced partners, such as in production, Gmundner Keramik. Not only internal factors are in our play, also the macroeconomic changes. On one side, the governmental push through monetary incentives on one hand, but also through the environmental legislation, which is put into place in many cities around the globe, not only Vienna, also San Francisco actually. And on the other side, the civil push through increasing pressure on stakeholders to invest into green infrastructure and green solutions. Last year, we were able to bring the title of the best university startup to Austria. This year, we want to do the same, but without the university prefix. Looking very much forward to your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, yes. First one's for free when someone comes on stage. The second has to be earned. Just say, just say. Good. Dearest jury, who would like to go first? Just raise your hand if you have a question. That's your job. You're being paid millions for that today. Patrick.
First of all, thanks for the great pitch. We saw each other last year in Entrepreneurship Avenue, so it's really a great success story that you made it also here. So kudos to that. First of all, the question would be, what is the competition doing, and in what kind of areas you see the most potential?
Yeah, thank you for that. So basically, we see around 24 competitors worldwide, and they act very regionally. So they specify on their home country and don't really look beyond that border. But what we really found is a global solution to a global problem, and that's really something we want to capitalize on and where we see a lot of potential.
Campus.
Yeah, so thank you very much. Great presentation. What's the product stage you are in right now, and what are the next steps?
Yeah, so right now we are in pilot project phase, which means we have about one handful of projects which are already paid. We have 6-digit revenues planned until we enter the market readiness phase, which we plan to enter in Q1 next year. And then basically we're from there looking into internationalization beyond the DACH region.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And let's move on to the next pitch. 9 down, 3 categories down, 3 to go. That means 1 category, and that's the future of work and edutech. Let's get on to our next startup. It's called Hello Sophia and Hello Marcus. That was Shizu. Bet you've never heard that one before, right?
Actually, I wanted to start my pitch exactly like that.
Oh, I ruined it. I'm so sorry, brother. I'm sorry. You'll
Because
get extra
you're
2
renewed,
minutes.
right?
No, you'll not. Stage is yours whenever you're good to go. Have fun.
Hello, I am Sophia, and my name is Marcus, because Sophia does not stand for a name, it stands for sophisticated advice for every business in the world. Why are we doing this? Because running a business is challenging. You face a lot of challenges every day. Sometimes as an entrepreneur, you have the feeling that the whole world is against you. You need to convince clients, you need to convince employees, you pay taxes, and then an economic crisis comes and you need to stop everything. You don't even have a department for all your challenges. And a whole network of experts, the Boston Consulting Group and McKinsey, are not affordable for you to bring you into the future, to face all your challenges based on sophisticated solutions. Because management consultancies are simply not made for small and medium-sized businesses. And it's okay for a big corporation to have 50 people in a room to listen to one expert that flew there from another continent to talk about a strategy. I experienced that myself as the strategy program manager of a public listed bank. It's great, you need that. But as an empowered entrepreneur, you just need a one-on-one expert session with the right person to make your strategic decisions yourself. And that's why we democratize the access to sophisticated advice, because we love entrepreneurship and we know that not everybody can afford the big 4 or the big 3. And the future of work is now. We are already living in. The platforms changed the way we do business completely. But one platform is missing. Business consultancy is still working the same way as it did it before, just on video. And that's why we deliver the best business advisory services right to your office, wherever it is. Our smart suggestions help you to find the right service, and then you can directly book a meeting with experts from banks, tax advisory firms, law firms, marketing agency, insurance brokers, and then you can meet finally online, because we can execute a micro-advisory project completely on our platform without even once leaving secure EU infrastructure. Hallo Sophia and the concept of micro-advisory was born out of the need of the pandemic for remote work to continue working while meeting was not advisable, but also support for small and medium-sized businesses. After we were among the winners of the EU versus Virus at the #1 at the Matchathon, the EU Commission connected us with all in all 60 partners that helped us shaping the concept, banks, industry leaders, how to make business advice, the methods of Boston Consulting Group and Co. accessible to small and medium-sized businesses. The big opportunity is video advice today. The highlight was that one of our partners, Amazon, took us to the Financial Times Congress to present this concept there, because Amazon CTO Werner Vogels compared it to his vision of cloud computing back then. We launched early and learned from 418 micro-advisory sessions on our platform in the prototype phase, and now do the relaunch to the beta phase. Big market, but we focus on inclusive pricing, and this is the amazing team that works remotely, and 6 of those people I never even met personally in my life. But we worked together since 1 year and already brought banks, lawyers, tax advisors to 418 remote offices within the prototyping phase. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's the one you earned, so they kind of liked it. That's a good one. Yeah, Dudu first.
So, thanks a lot for the pitch. So great advice or expert advice can be very subjective at the end of the day. So how do you ensure that the experts you have on the platform are somehow checked?
The funny thing is, we've been one of the best advices I ever got. I guess this is the best answer, because we like advice. Was when we thought about the process with working together with Chamber of Commerce to securing everything. VC representative from Y Combinator said to me, when Austrians would have made Facebook, you would need a whole editorial group to supervise all posts before they are posted. And then we thought it differently, by bringing the full transparency to the marketplace. Of course we check the plausibility before we verify an expert. And we have the approved expert where you need to do a video interview with one of our crew. But in general, we go into the way of transparency, showing the offer transparent on the marketplace, let user report misuse. And what we experience in the prototyping phase, it's very hard to convince someone. You really need to do an elevator pitch on your service description that really someone books your advice for payment and pays for it.
But do you have any criteria you have predefined before onboarding them?
They need to fill out a little questionnaire in the beginning that I can check plausibility. For example, when someone says, I fund your company, and then I expect them to have a banking license, right? And then I check if this is really representative. Is the email address of erstebank.at? Yes, okay, check, you are expert in banking. Is it a licensed law firm? Okay, you can advise on legal matters.
Yeah, Canvas?
Yeah, great, Marcus. Thank you very much. Considering your next goals when it comes particularly to the content and so on, what are they?
So I'm really excited about the relaunch. We basically wanted to do it until today because we shift as the first from expert matches to service booking. So the first platform that goes from people to services. And we wanted to present this today, but we decided last night that it's not stable enough to present it. But this next week is the biggest step for me now, because we worked on this since 3 months to really do the complete relaunch from prototype to beta. And then, of course, building up the global markets. We already have 15, 20 markets covered with experts and 15 languages, I guess. It's about to build up now, globally.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for the pitch. Good seeing you. And let's move on to the next pitch. Now, normally the next person should be on the stage over there. However, it didn't work out for, well, let's ask her. Hello, Sophie Bolzer of Advice. Sophie, why can't you be here?
Hi, Daniel. Thanks so much for having me. Yes, I came to Stockholm to work remotely and escape lockdown a bit. And then COVID kind of kept me from going back early enough so I can be with you guys in Vienna and pitch. So thanks a lot for to the whole team to making this happen, that I can pitch online.
Thank you very much. But you are good and feeling well?
I am good. I'm feeling well. I recovered from COVID. All good. Just my voice maybe a bit too deep, but let's see how that works out.
You're tough. You're tough. That's good. So you know the rules. It's 4 minutes. And whenever you're happy to start, take it away.
Great. Thanks, Daniel. So, hi, everyone. I'm Sophie, founder and CEO of Advice, a learning and collaboration tool for businesses that helps them to manage knowledge smarter with audio. And that sounds like a nice to have, but it is actually a must have. Because if your organization does a poor job in managing knowledge, your employees will be less productive, less efficient, and are less likely to make appropriate decisions. And that makes companies lose millions every single year. And the number one reason for that is lack of time. It simply takes too much time to share knowledge, and we're too busy to make time to process knowledge besides all these to-dos we need to deliver every day, even if that would make us do our jobs better. And this is what we can help you with. We brought Advice to life because we discovered how powerful audio is to make knowledge sharing easy, fast, and finally work. You can think of it as an all-in-one tool for internal podcasting that allows you to record your knowledge as fast as a voice message, but perfectly structured in bite-sized tracks and playlists. And you share it right where people listen to it, in your company's own audio library that helps them to make most of their time and listen on the go. Our users, for example, listen to Advice while they're driving, doing laundry, or just simply making a coffee in their home offices. However, the difference to hosting a corporate podcast is, first of all, that it is fully collaborative, because we make it really easy for anyone in your company to use it without being a professional content creator, knowing anything about podcasting, or without needing a bunch of tools or equipment for it. Secondly, we fulfill highest corporate security standards, especially when it comes to access control, role management, and data privacy. And last but not least, we can easily integrate with other platforms by publishing and embedding playlists, by deep linking, or also the other way around by adding any visuals or media content to your playlist. Our very first audio library was actually targeting students who could create, share, and listen to study material with Advice, but it has soon been adopted by universities as a blended learning tool, and finally by companies for learning and development. And that brings me to my some tum slide. I realize I don't need any more after Bill's talk. However, I think it still gives some context and direction, because in particular, we found our sweet spot in sales enablement. That's what our 2 Fortune 500 clients started using Advice for. But we can already see how they're slowly adopting Advice for other use cases as well, like peer-to-peer learning, welcoming new employees, retirement handovers, or even async meetings, which, by the way, is a very promising use case we are working on right now. And in the next months, we will grow our team to keep up with demand and make Advice more scalable. And that will allow us to also make it available to SMEs, and in particular, fast-growing startups who hardly ever have the budget or the resources to set up proper digital knowledge management processes. So I can promise it will be affordable. We will introduce a tiered pricing strategy where you pay based on the maximum number of users that can access your audio library. And recent trends show very well that we have just the right timing. Podcasts, voice messages, remote work are on the rise and even more boosted by COVID, actually. And so were learning and development budgets. And I think Clubhouse proved very well how strong these trends really are. But unlike them, we will focus on an on-demand B2B approach to bring the power of audio to the corporate world. And this we is a team of highly dedicated and committed people who have my back as a single founder and who bring the right know-how, motivation, and network to the table to help us grow. Thanks a lot for listening, and again for having me here online.
Thank you, and good to see you. I hope you can hear the applause. It's a rare thing these days, but feel the love from Vienna. Let's see what our jury has to ask. Dear jury, who has a question? That's the part where you raise your hand and start talking. So if you have a question, there you go, Alyosha.
Thank you very much for the pitch and a virtual welcome also. I think it was very smooth, very clear. The question that I have is when you think in terms of your target customers, I'm assuming you're targeting more sort of the corporate sector who needs a platform that you help them to run. So one question is a little bit, what do you think is sort of the steps, or you have two already in plan, but maybe you can talk a little bit about that. And then what would be interesting for me is what do you think is the biggest hurdle for them to sort of switch over to you and commit themselves to your product?
Yeah, thanks. Very, very good question. So actually, we did it not in the normal way to first of all go with smaller companies and then target corporates. We switched it a bit. When it comes to corporates, basically, what we can see very often is that one big hurdle, of course, for them is to have some kind of, white glove service that helps them to implement the solution. So this is what we're doing at the moment. We have the software as a service concept live, but it still needs kind of manual support from our team to set it up properly and to get the process running. And this is what we are right now trying to automate. To also be able to make it fully self-service that we can target SMEs and just like really offer the service on top for corporates and then the self-service solution for smaller teams and for SMEs.
Thank you. Time for one last question. Patrick.
My question would be, what is the pricing model and what's the price point of your solution?
So at the moment, when we are talking to corporates as potential clients, it is kind of a bit more complex pricing strategy. So we still charge based on audio library, based on how many users have access maximum to this audio library. So tiered pricing. And when we are launching the solution for SMEs, it will be a far lower pricing, so maybe even per user per month. We're not yet entirely sure how exactly that will look like, but definitely affordable.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again, Sophie. Looking forward to seeing you in person sometime soon. Take care and stay safe. Thank you.
Thanks.
And bye-bye. Now let's move on to our final pitch. That's pitch number 12. The company is called eSquirrel. Here's Michael of eSquirrel. Give it up for Michael. Yeah. You'll have to earn the next one, but you know so far. You're good? Whenever
good.
you're happy to start, stage is yours.
eSquirrel works with almost all Austrian textbook publishers and brings the classroom into the 21st century. The 21st century, you might say, is already 21 years old. That's right. But imagine you fell asleep in a classroom 40 years ago. You wake up now and look around. What has changed? Almost nothing. Instead of videotapes, students watch YouTube videos and sometimes they even read books as PDFs. Can this be everything? A teacher called me just recently and told me, do you know, Dr. Maurer, with your learning platform, I started to like teaching again. I've been a demotivated and frustrated teacher for 10 years now. I didn't like it. My students didn't like it. But since I started to use your app, I've been happy to teach again, and I see that on my students' faces as well. how does eSchool achieve this? Firstly, we don't wait for any tablet or laptop initiatives. We use the means that are available to schools right now, including students' smartphones, even older ones, without needing any Wi-Fi, completely available offline. Secondly, because we create fun and entertaining, yet accurate and high-quality courses for every textbook. Students love to learn with our courses. They challenge each other, collect acorns, play through levels, so that they really like it and want to learn on their own. We achieve this by unifying concepts like blended, mobile, and adaptive learning, spaced repetition, and gamification. And thirdly, we make the life easier for teachers as well. Teachers tell us how fast they can give homework with eScroll, how much time they save every week by no longer having to correct tests because they can just see their students' results and learning analytics on our platform. So far, we have covered around 200 textbooks from almost all Austrian and also German textbook publishers, starting from the largest ones like ÖBV, Veritas, Lemberger, Hölzl, and so on. And we are a proud member of strong partnerships like the main Austrian and German educational alliances. We cover all subjects from biology over mathematics to German, English, French, Latin, Spanish, you name it, we have it. Our strong partner A1 Telekom Austria helps us to broaden our portfolio in Europe and put out our feelers on the American market. With now 350,000 created exercises, including audios, mathematical formulae, and explainer videos that have now already been answered 22 million times, 100,000 users, and a pool of 90 authors, including the author of Austria's #1 math textbook, we are growing rapidly. Our team creates 20 new courses every month. With the global trend of EdTech that ignited due to the corona pandemic, we started an industry that has just begun to skyrocket. Currently, there are around 400,000 relevant textbooks in Europe, and their digital appearance mostly limits itself to simple PDFs. Every publisher needs to spend at least hundreds of thousands of euros and several years to become digitally competitive, which small and medium publishers cannot afford. So they sometimes end up with very bad and cheap solutions. Instead, they get a validated, affordable, and high-quality solution with eScroll right here and right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On the dot. On the dot. Kids, you know the drill by now. Alyosha.
Happy to go first. Thank you very much. Really a great pitch, and I think you're touching on a topic that is very top of mind for every parent at this point in time, right? So that's great to see. And maybe I have a little bit of a naive question, right? But what I'm wondering myself is a little bit, who's your paying customer at the end of the day?
Yeah, so it starts with the publishers. They can decide either if they want to give the eScroll course for free to their books, then they pay us a yearly fee, or they put it out to be bought by the teachers and also parents and students themselves, then there is a profit share.
Thank you. One more question to go. Whoever likes. Karina.
Yes, you already mentioned that the pandemic obviously changed the whole edutech ecosystem. We can saw it also with how companies like GoStudent really benefited from it. I was wondering, how exactly did COVID change also your company, and how could you really make use of this pandemic for you now?
Yeah, just to give you a number, in the 3 days following the school closings last year, we got as many new customers as we got in the first 3 months after the school opened in fall, the fall before. So there was a huge impact in users. We saw that really a lot of teachers already knew the product actually. They were thinking like, okay, perhaps let's wait a little until I can use this. And then there came the time where they know, okay, now we're gonna use it. We also got a new investment and grew our team from 4 people plus the 90 authors to 11 people working full-time for the company.
Thank you very much. Well, that was it. Pleasure listening to your pitch. Thank you very much for your questions. Yeah, you can applaud if you feel like it.
Thank you.
We'll have to get used to that again. So those were 4 categories, 12 pitches, which is somewhat challenging for our jury. And that means they need some time to, well, deliberate on who is actually going to win the Startup World Cup Austria. And therefore, we're going to have a short pause and a very Austrian or German time. We'll be back at 17:10 or 10 past 5 or something like that. So at 10 minutes past 5, we'll continue. We'll be sharp on the second. See you back shortly. So it's a little more than half an hour. Don't run away. And see you shortly. Thank you and bye-bye. What's up, Internet? It's good to see you lot back again. By the way, I hope all of you are wearing pants, because I guess about 30% of you are not. No offense. Don't want to know about it. I'm just stating it. Now, here's the thing. I personally believe all of these pitches were really good, and seemingly our jury as well, because, well, they haven't showed up again. So I'm thinking either they're outside having free drinks, but I'm not hoping, but they're professionals. So I'm thinking they'll be back in a couple of minutes with results. Don't go far. We're going to give them, how much time are we going to give them until we're back? Like, we're giving them 5 minutes, and then we'll drag them in by their masks, like COVID-friendly dragging in by their masks, of course. And then we'll be back with results. So that's in 5 minutes. Don't go too far. Really sorry about that, but apparently the level is so high that they're still in huge discussions. Thank you very much, and see you shortly. Don't go away too far. Put on pants. And we are back. Thank you for being back, and trust me, it's going to be a good one. So again, thanks for being back, and now it's time to announce our winners. Before I do that, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the awards. And there's going to be two things that all of our 4 category winners are going to get. And then there's also something that our overall winner is going to get. Now, first of all, our category winners, all of them are going to receive a voucher for legal advice from Brandl and Talosch, and they rank among the leading Austrian firms in the fields of capital markets, M&A, venture capital, and startups, banking and finance, gaming and entertainment, as well as white-collar crime. That sounds promising. Don't have any dumb ideas. The firm has advised numerous innovative startups from the first venture capital financing to successful IPOs. So that's the first thing they get. So for the category winners, €2,000, and for the overall winner, support worth €4,000 by Brandl and Talosch. So that's really nice. I hope you don't need it for the white-collar crime, but all the other stuff, I hope you need it for IPOs, which would be good. And the second thing that all 4 category winners are going to receive are free festival tickets for the 15 Seconds Festival. And that's designed for those who never stop learning, and it's Europe's festival for curious minds. And it's a global platform at the intersection of business, innovation, and creativity that has since brought together more than 20,000 thinkers and makers from these areas all around the world, all to join them in Graz. Happening again this year, and together they've shared ideas, pushed each other forward, and helped shape the future. So Brandl and Talosch on the one hand, and on the other hand, 15 Seconds Festival. And that's actually going to happen this year, and it's going to happen in person. How do I know? I know. It's going to be sweet. Anyhow, that's that. And now comes the fun part, because now we're going to hand out the first award. And in this little thing, it says that the valuation of a company is probably going to go up as soon as I announce this, so that's quite good. Let's find out who the winner of the category Digital Health and Biotech is going to be. That's interesting. That's what we call suspense. Anyhow, I'm looking forward. The winner of Digital Health and Biotech is none other than... This is funny. Kilobase. Congratulations, Kilobase. Well done. And that's the part where you join me on stage. Normally, if this were like television, we'd have a commercial. And the winner is commercial. If I were Heidi Klum, I'd be doing this for the next 10 minutes. The winner is Kilobase, and you've just got your award because I can't touch the award because of COVID and stuff. You're happy.
Thank you very much for the prize. Very looking forward to the finals or to the pre-finals. Yeah, awesome.
Good man. Don't run away yet, because we'd like to know of our jury, because you took a lot of time to find the winners. Alyosha, tell us why him.
First of all, I would like actually to thank all the 3 great pitches, so you allow me that I recognize your co-partners as well. I think what has impressed us the most with your pitch, apart from the very laid-back delivery that you had, I think that definitely aired out some confidence, but I think what we've seen is that you actually have a proven track record when it comes to business, so this is a business sort of in the starting blocks. I think you also have a relatively clear strategy in terms of how you're aiming to scale it, and I think the hallmark of what you're offering is right at a sweet spot between what I would consider technology and speed. And I think there you're really touching into something that is really valuable, and that's sort of swayed your way at the end of the day. So good luck, and I hope you have a lot of success in the coming rounds.
Thanks very much.
Congratulations. Well done, my friend. Well done. Thank you very much. Now go away. Good. I said that. I'm a charming person. He's a lot taller than me. Keep forgetting it's not online, but he can actually punch me afterwards. It's different if it's on the internet. You can just be unfriendly to other people without them getting to do that. Oh, good. Nice. Let's move on to the next category, and this is security and big data. I got to have a sneak peek, which is fine. Let's have a look. Lovely. And the winner, and the field of security and big data is, I'm channeling my inner Heidi Klum, is Node Venture. Congratulations, David. Congratulations, David. I'm never getting that one right. David Schnetzer of Node Venture. Now, what's happening? He's actually getting mic'd up now because, well, if we mic up individuals, they go like, what happened? You didn't win. Don't worry. Just micing you up. Don't hurt yourself, brother. You're worth a lot more now. You're actually valuable now.
I was valuable.
Yeah, but... Exactly. Yes, what he said. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Good man, good man. Let's ask Patrick, why him?
Yeah, congrats, David, but congrats to everyone participating today in the finals, and especially in the area of security and big data. I think that this kind of area is more important than ever with the enormous amounts of data generated, and also with the security attacks and everything which we are hearing in the media. So I think that Node Ventures is really providing a solution for the crypto area. And I would like to particularly emphasize that, and this is also why we came to the conclusion to nominate Node Venture for this area, was because it's a really tricky field. You know, when you would like to work together with banks, they need a lot of security. It's a really hard area for a startup. You know what I'm talking about. And I think you really did a great job approaching, getting the first customers, and I think this is why you really deserve this. So congrats.
Thank you. Thank you to my co-founder and my team and my investors and to everyone who supports us to get to this journey. Thank you.
Congratulations, David. Well done. Thank you. Ah, sweet, sweet. That's good. It's always fun to see the authentic reaction when people win. Good so far, right? Yeah, yeah. I'm enjoying myself. At least I am, which is quite good. Good, let's move on to the next category, and that's social and climate impact. Let's have a look. There you go. Sweet. Yeah, let's break the ice. Fantastic. It's Cape and Peter. Congratulations, Peter of Cape. He's going, me? Really? Well done, brother. That's a good one. Saving the world by reducing the amount of destroyed skateboards. That's a mission, isn't it? I think it is. And Tony Hawk's like, what do I sell on eBay? I'm not going to be able to pay my Lambos. Oh, I didn't say that one loud. Yes, you get to award, take that one.
Yeah.
Brother, you might want to take the mask off as well.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
Say something.
Thank you very much. I didn't expect it. So there were so many good people in there. So thank you.
Don't go away. Stay there. First award?
What?
Is that your first award?
No. Yes, of course.
Good. It's his first award. That's fantastic. Look at the excitement.
Yes, first award.
Karina, tell me why him.
Yeah. So first of all, I would also like to point out that I was really impressed by all the pitches that we heard today. I think they were really top-notch. I think we all are aware that social and climate impact, that's an area that's really important and is becoming more important as we go forward. What really impressed us with you and Cape was that you really have there an innovative solution for a real problem. And we heard before that TAM is not really what we should focus on. So it's not about how big the market is, but really if you have a solution that can really address a good market, and we think it is definitely the case for that. And also we love that there's the combination with it being environmentally sourced, and we love your vision of not only applying that for skateboards, but really also in other sectors such as the automotive. And the only recommendation from me for the next time, bring your skateboard.
That's what I told you as well. Bring your skateboard, save the world. Good man. Thank you very much. Pleasure. Yeah, right? That was also my recommendation. I told him later on, look, really good pitch, but next time please do bring a skateboard. Just because skateboards are amazing. I'm a simple person. Good, let's move on to our final category. Not the overall winner, the final category. And that's future of work and edutech. Channeling my inner Heidi Klum again. And the winner of the category Future of Work and Edutech is I'm horrible. This is so fun. Advice. Congratulations, Advice. Congratulations, Sophie.
Stage now.
Guess what, Sophie? 2021 and you're still muted. I can't
I'm
hear
not.
you.
I
Yeah,
swear,
I
I'm
can
not
hear you
muted.
now. Can you see my screen? No, I'm just kidding. Sophie, you won.
Thanks so much. I'm not sure if I'm still muted, but I hope you can see the excitement in my face still. No?
Yes.
Lip sync, lip reading. I am
Yes.
excited. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you very much. So, obviously, you're changing the world with audio. That's quite good. However, let's ask Dudu.
Yeah, no need to say that the decision was really hard. So congrats to everyone who participated. It was really very well done. We decided to nominate Advice because we really think that your enthusiasm is very, very engaging, and we really enjoyed your pitch. And it's a great sign that you already have convinced 2 great partners, and this definitely gives us the confidence that you'll continue this journey successfully.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Sophie, that's a good reason to come back to Austria in one piece. Thank you so much. Take care, stay safe.
I will.
And see you soon. Take care and bye-bye. Thank you. 4 category winners, all of them excited. That's good, that's sweet. And now my job is to get someone on stage to tell you who's going to win the overall award, the Startup World Cup Austria. You've seen him this morning. Let's welcome him back on stage. Welcome back on stage, Michael Lapidus. Michael, the stage is yours. Give it up for Michael.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so I think it is a moment why we all have gathered here for. It is time to announce a regional champion from Austria and overall winner. And the winner is Cape Skateboards. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to have to say something now until he's
Yes,
on stage.
yes.
Don't hurt yourself. Next time, bring a skateboard. Yeah, we may have mentioned that.
The trophy is yours, as the same as a ticket to Silicon Valley. Or congratulations.
I can't believe it. Fuck. Should I go? Or
No,
say
stay
something?
there and say something.
Okay. I really can't believe it. So don't know what to say, but we will try to use this opportunity in Silicon Valley to talk to the industry leaders. The heart of skateboarding is in California, so really appreciate the opportunity.
Here's an advice. What are you taking to Silicon Valley?
My skateboard.
Yes, yes. Take a skateboard. Congratulations.
Thank
We're
you very
happy.
much.
He's in shock. That's a good
Yeah.
one. He'll have a stiff drink tonight. Drinking is bad. Don't drink. Good. That was fun. That was nice. Always good to see people somewhat stunned and somewhat in slight shock. Anyhow, let's get someone else back on stage of the Wirtschaftsagentur Wien. Gabi, back. We need to have you back. And we actually need to have Peter back, right?
No, I can tell him from here as well.
Peter,
Fine.
get back here again. Let's get him back again.
So congratulations also from my side. I'm from the Vienna Business Agency, and we are very keen to support the startup ecosystem here in Austria and in Vienna, and also international startups. And when I heard about the Startup World Cup, I thought, okay, there's so many amazing startups in Austria. We should really bring them on the spot. And that's why we supported as well this initiative. And I'm very happy that we can give you another 5,000 euro in order to really further develop your product and also use it for Silicon Valley maybe. So congratulations and all the best for all the startups. I always say I'm very privileged because I know so many amazing startups, but I'm very happy that we can help in order to internationalize and give you this opportunity, really.
Thank you so much. I would like to hug you, but I think that wouldn't look good now. But
You know, it's fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Stay.
Okay.
If you feel like going, you can, but you just
So
stay.
I should
You
stay,
should
okay.
just stay there, because we've got another award for you, and that's from the Austrian Chamber of Commerce, the WKO. I think we have a little video prepared. Let's see what that is all about.
Okay.
Let's roll the video.
Hello from San Francisco, and congratulations to the winner of the Startup World Cup Austria 2021. We look forward to welcoming you soon here in Silicon Valley. You can work out of our co-working space Galvanize, situated right in the heart of San Francisco's startup ecosystem, once the COVID situation improves.
We will also connect you with one of our selected mentors from our community who will help you navigate the Silicon Valley ecosystem. In an exclusive tour, we'll take a look behind the scenes at some of the leading tech firms and explore some iconic landmarks in the Bay Area. Congratulations again, and see you soon in Silicon Valley.
There you go. There you go. Thank you very much. Now stay. We have something else for you. We also have a voucher for Mesas, and they're going to offer you 1 year of support for business consulting and tax consulting. So you're going to be rich, and they're going to help you how not to end up in jail. That's a good one. That's an easy tax line. Professionally said, of course, they're going to support you with tax consulting and business mentoring for 1 year. The voucher's here. We'll give it to you later on because of COVID and stuff. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you very much, Gabi. Congratulations to you again.
Thank you very much to all of you.
There you can go. Thank you very much. Yeah, that was quite good. However, we do have something else also to announce. There's an initiative called Go Silicon Valley, and that's an international trade initiative by the Austrian Federal Ministry of Science, Research and Economy and the Austrian Federal Economic Chamber. And it offers selected Austrian small and medium-sized enterprises an opportunity to access the epicenter of IT innovation in Silicon Valley and its abundant sources of partnerships and, of course, risk capital. Probably you've all heard of it. However, every year, up to 18 companies are selected by a US jury to spend 3 months in Silicon Valley at one of the partner business accelerators. And now we'll have a good look at the announcement of the winner of that. And for that, we also have a video prepared. Let's roll the video and find out who the Go Silicon Valley winners are.
Hello again from San Francisco. We are now coming to you from the Transit Center right next to the iconic Salesforce Tower. Our co-working space Galvanize is actually right next door. We're looking forward to welcoming the next cohort of the Go Silicon Valley Initiative 2021. But before we introduce the participants of this year's program, my colleague Earl is going to tell you a little bit more about the program and what they can expect.
This is already the 12th round of the Go Silicon Valley program. So far, over 160 companies have successfully participated in the program. About 1/3 of those companies have raised external funding, and there's been several successful exits to US companies here out of the program. We're currently in close contact with our mentors and our partners to make sure that we can offer you the best program yet. And just so you know, we're planning with a fully physical program here in Silicon Valley. Having a virtual program at this point is merely an afterthought.
Right. And together with our US jury, we went through a rigorous selection process over the last couple of weeks. The participants handed in a company profile, they went to a pitch coaching with Nathan Gold, and they handed in their video pitch. Finally, over the course of 2 days, they were participating in a live Q&A with our jury so they can answer all the questions that their jury might have. So, without further ado, we would like to announce this year's participants of the Go Silicon Valley Initiative. In alphabetical order, we would like to congratulate Bird Kids, Bug Battle, Carbon Cleanup, Checklands, eSquirrel, Findustrial, Giggler,
Interactive Paper, Cape Skateboards, Pensatori, Propster, The Poid, Texture, and Volutico. Congratulations to all the selected participants. We will be in touch with more information shortly. We would also like to thank the applicants who wanted to participate in this year's program, and we hope that we see you again next year.
We look forward to seeing all of the applicants that made it into the program soon here in Silicon Valley.
So there you go. Happy winners. And the funny thing is, I just kind of looked at our teams today, and 2 of them made it to Silicon Valley, and they're kind of sitting in a beeline, and the first seemed somewhat slightly relaxed, actually 3, and kind of slightly relaxed. And the funny thing is, our buddy of Cape, I think he's going to really need a drink today. I think he's kind of in shock. He'll be like, oh, you'll have to reschedule, brother. You'll have to reschedule. Life is going to change slightly for all of you, of course. But yeah, he's going places. That's quite good. Now, without any further ado, I always love handing over the stage. And I'm looking forward for you meeting 2 outstanding people who've made this whole thing work. And I'm very happy to announce our Community Relations Lead of Austrian Startups, IPEC, and the Event Manager of the Austrian Angel Investors Association, Sarah. Give it up for IPEC and Sarah. Welcome on stage to the 2 of you.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm IPEC.
And I'm Sarah. And we are both so honored to have organized and hosted the Startup World Cup for the first time in Austria. It was such a great and exciting journey for us. And for that, we especially also want to thank again our sponsors to have made this event possible.
Yes, and we also want to say a huge thank you to our jury members. Some of you have been with us in the previous 3 pre-events. A huge thank you for sharing your experiences and supporting our startups. It was really great to have you in the jury with us.
And speaking of startups, we also want to thank you, our finalists. It's such a huge achievement that you made it here today. You made it through the pre-events, and before that, even through the pre-selections. So big congratulations for that, also from our side. And of course, a very special congratulations to the first Startup World Cup Austria winner, Cape.
Yeah. And also we had a great technical company with us, Be Seen Live, and also we had amazing speakers on stage, and also a big thank you to our video team and the photography team. Yeah, this would not have been possible without your support. And last but not least, our moderator, Daniel Cronin. Thank you for being so amazing today and moderating. It's always a pleasure to have you on stage with us.
Thank you.
And we're really looking forward to organizing and hosting Startup World Cup Austria also next year, and hope to see you with us next year as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And in that sense, not much more to say other than to Cape, you should become our personal Conchita. Now go out and win this for Austria. No pressure, brother, but you could be the Conchita Wurst of startup land. Now that's amazing, isn't it? Jetzt hat den Schatz gewonnen. Anyhow, in that sense, thank you very much for joining us. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully see you all soon. Good night and take care, and goodbye.